Hi.
Peace. What's going on, party people? This is the Word Man, Gary Lime. I am here with a very, very special guest. I'm here with the one, the only,
Cailie Jerome Skelton.
That's right. And we are here today in the Clinton, Washington bus stop. Subway stop.
The G.
The G
specific,
train. Yeah,
because
the
there's
G
also
train.
an AC stop that's like, anyway.
Yeah. So if you, now we're just going to give fucking train directions and shit.
Yeah.
See what happens if you get off the Clinton, right, and you miss your one train, you can come here, catch the 8, no, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But what this is actually...
Call me, I'll tell you how to get home.
It's great, it's easy.
Yeah.
But what this actually is this is the Word Man Friend of a Friend game show. And
I am a friend of a friend.
so the way this works is we actually have a very good friend by the name of Mr. Etienne Melton, a.k.a.
French for Steven.
That's right, French for Steven, a name he hates.
Hates it.
And I'm going to use it all the time.
So I'm told, but he never comes to Brooklyn anymore.
Boom! Oh!
Jesus, so bad.
Where did I drop it? That's right, I don't know what you gotta do. Always hanging out in Long Island and shit.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? But the way the game show works, I have a bag of stuff. Kind of shows me backwards. I have a bag of stuff
And
here.
it doesn't have, it's not decided with Etienne's address. So.
That's right. So no one knows where he lives.
Right. It's definitely not Long Island.
No, it's definitely not Long Island. Definitely not.
And his town is definitely not the name of the old lady.
No, it's definitely not. No, surely you can't be serious. No, definitely not.
No.
But, no.
Oakwood, not serious.
No. So the way the game show works, I have a bag of stuff here for Mr. Etienne Melton. However, Etienne is not here. But Cailie is. So, I am going to ask Cailie a question. Now, if Cailie gets the question right, Etienne gets the bag of stuff. I ask the question, Cailie gets the question wrong, I get the bag of stuff, and Cailie has to dye her hair red.
Ah.
I was looking for a bigger, I'll be honest with you, I was looking for a bigger, like, thing there than I got. Anyway, very, very, very Charlie Brown of you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Not red.
Not red. Oh no.
Anything but red.
So, that's a big deal. That means there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
But before we get, but then we know what we're playing for. We have to see. Excuse me. Now we have to see what we're playing for. Excuse me. We're going to hold that, please. I'll show you what's in the bag. So, first thing in the bag is. We got 3 markers. That's the colors. Moving the camera back and forth. That's 3 colors. I got these markers from Anyone Comics. Shouts to Demetrius and Anyone Comics in Crown Heights. Really good comic book store.
And Pirate Pete.
Peter Calderone, what up? That's Peter Calderone's favorite comic book store. We're good friends with Mr. Pirate Peter.
I saw Pirate Peter in there on the internet.
And I was there at that party,
Yeah.
and it was so awesome. He was dressed as Deadpool. Yeah. It was great. I got to listen to him do karaoke as Deadpool.
I'm jealous.
It's a great way to start 2018.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
But anyway, Crown Heights, Anyone Comics, guy runs this Demetrius, really good place. He sells a bunch of markers. I know you liked them, you said last time. I forgot to ask you which colors you wanted, so I just picked 3 randomly. So if they're not the colors you like, fuck it, you didn't pay for it anyway. So what else do we have in the bag?
What else do we have in the bag?
We have the Motel Inferno.
Whoa.
This is from an upcoming Doctor Strange comic. It just looked really badass, and it looked like the kind of thing you would use as a bookmark. So I cut it out and I laminated it, and I just found really thick tape and just wrapped it around thick tape, which is kind of like laminating.
You know, you said you laminated it, and that's what I thought.
Oh, well, word, cool,
Yeah.
we got that right. So we got this here for you, again, Motel Inferno. So that's in there. So we put this down real quick. Got you a little frame. It says, "You can't have community unless you take part."
Whoa.
So why this is important to you. Now, Mr. Etienne was kind enough to get me, now I have to find it in my pocket because I didn't come prepared, he got me this very awesome pen. It's indestructible, it's made of like solid steel, it's got like a little tip for breaking windows, it's like a self-defense pen.
Is that really what it does?
It does, yeah, actually. Like, you know, so if you're in a car that like goes into the water and they tell you how you have to like try to break the window to get out, that's what that little silver piece you see right there. which you can't see because it's all blurry, but that's what that piece does. And you can still use it with the pen tool.
Underwater. If your car
the ink is actually waterproof, so
Nice,
yeah.
yeah.
It's an amazing pen. It's awesome. I live by
You
this thing.
could like let all the water into your car and like write your last words on your like windshield.
You could also try to get out of the car that's underwater, but that's just, I mean, splitting hairs, really, you know?
Yeah,
So she's like, bitch, I had a thing going here, fucking my shit up. But it's a really awesome pen. I love it, and it's a really good like self-defense tool. So this way, when you're like in the Clinton Washington Avenue subway stop, you can use it to like, I don't know, do something with. So anyway, it's awesome. I named the pen Shu Lao, which is the name of the dragon in Iron Fist, because I'm a big comic book geek and I love Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But the very first thing I wrote with said pen is, "You can't have community unless you take part," which is a belief I firmly have. I thought it'd be really nice to wrap it up and put it in a $2 frame and give it to Etienne, since he was nice enough to get me the pen.
Yeah.
Bum, bum. So we have that. What else do we have in the bag? Well,
It definitely does not have Etienne's address on it.
no, it definitely does not. We have The Real Inspector Hound by Mr. Tom Stoppard. There we go.
Whoa!
So we had talked before, and I casually realized that there's a play you would really, really like, this one. And I was like, yeah, I know you're always on trains going nowhere because you live out in the middle of nowhere on Long Island. And I was like, if you ever needed something to read while waiting, this would make a really great, especially like good one-stop read type thing. It's awesome. It's great. It's got a lime green cover, which kind of goes a long way for me for obvious reasons.
No.
These are my friends. These are my friends. What am I going to do with that? We also have in here for you. Thanks, coming in. Joe Hill, Smarter Weather? Strange Weather. 4 short stories.
Whoa.
This is a library book from the Brooklyn Public Library, because I support my local libraries. I don't know, I felt like it was a big thing to mention. Who gives a shit, right?
Shit, yeah, it is free books, right?
Right, you know what I mean? Free books, bro. Etienne had said that, well, I need to read more books this year. That's like one of my New Year's resolutions. I'm working really, my New Year's resolution is to have a better Etienne impression, which I clearly need much more work on.
It takes
because
practice.
It takes a lot of practice. I don't have a really good Etienne impression. I'm not 6'9", 300 pounds like he is.
Right.
He's also not 6'9" and 300 pounds. But I don't have it. Anyway.
Or is he?
Nice, that's nice. So I got him, so one of his things was, I'm going to read more novels, and he said, but there's no, like, libraries here in Long Island. I don't know what the hell, what weird place Long Island is. But nevertheless, I said, so what novels do you want to read? I'll get them at the Brooklyn Library, mail them to you. When you get done reading them, bong, mail it back. You know what I mean? That's how Long Island and Brooklyn connect now, you know?
Please return this book when you're done.
Which is the next point. I included a little bookmark that has the due date on it.
Am I getting the due date?
Oh, are we getting the due date on there? February 10th? 10th. And worst case scenario, if you don't have the book done by then, text me, call me, let me know, and I'll try to renew it. And then, you know, that's how we'll do. Boom. We have more in here.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. This is, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is your birthday presents, by the way, because I need, your birthday's in 2 weeks. His birthday's on Valentine's Day. And,
Which we're going to accordingly celebrate with pinks and reds and lace and hearts.
Yes, exactly. Because that's how we do it.
And Pirate Pete.
Pirate Pete, what's up? Love Peter Calderone. Peter Calderone is the man.
Dude, have you seen his Anconius?
The Anconius of pound for pound, biggest Anconius of all time? Yes.
It's amazing.
Pirate Peter, what up? So what else we have in here for you is Benetti's Defense. This is a comic book I got also at Anyone Comics. This is all about, this is really random. So you're obviously familiar with The Princess Bride, I think we all are. And there's a really great scene.
Inconceivable.
There's a really great scene with Inigo Montoya fights the man in the black mask, and they have that really great sword fight.
I think the camera just shook, and that was me nodding.
Yeah, so because that's how you use a camera. So this guy who was apparently named Ken Wong, who lives in Brooklyn, is apparently a bit of a fencing expert, and took the entire scene and broke it down in terms of what moves they use, how they're correct, how they historically relate to fencing and whatnot. As we shift sides here. How it relates to fencing and all that good stuff. Etienne, as you may not know, is a huge fan of swordplay, fencing, all that shit.
I took fencing in high school instead of physical education.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
Pretty good.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a huge fan of it. Like, he loves Errol Flynn movies. Like,
He throws knives, right?
Yes, he
throw
does.
knives?
Yes, he does throw knives, yeah. It's pretty badass. So when I saw the comic, I was like, this is all about swordplay, fencing, and it's about the Princess Bride. Right up your alley. So, bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. We have more in here. Because I like to take care of my friends and get them nice things. Oh! So, sorry, it's going to be a little noisy because that's the train going by.
What?
So, we have... That's really, really loud. So, Etienne's favorite comic book character is the Punisher. So I'm randomly at the comic book store, and I come across the Pummeler, a Punisher parody, and it cost me a whole $1, so I was like, for a whole $1, I get a Punisher parody comic where he kills bunny rabbits. No one in the world will like this more than Etienne. Right?
Fuck those bunnies, they know what they do.
Yeah, exactly, they know what happened. So I got this one. Night of the Lepus is the greatest movie. Stop bullshit. You've seen this movie? Fuck yeah. Night of the Lepus is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I just ran into the only person who has ever seen this movie. You made my night. That totally made up for how depressing I thought it was.
It was really bad.
Yeah, but Night of the Lepus is awesome. Night of the Lepus
Not
is awesome.
really bad.
So we got that for you. We also have in here for you. I'm really tearing this back at least. The latest issue of Heavy Metal, because you had asked for it, and it features Frank Frazetta's death. I don't remember what this guy is called, but it's one of his most famous paintings, and I know you, of course, probably know what it is. Now I feel stupid for not remembering. Heavy Metal, new issue, bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. And one more thing, last but not least but not last, we have the comic book adaptation of Creepshow.
No way!
No one loves this movie more than Etienne. I know this because he quotes this fucking movie all the time to me, and it drives me nuts. But, I'm not allowed to complain because as much as I talk, I can't really get mad when someone else talks a lot. That's not really fair.
I get it.
I do talk a lot. But when I came across the anthology, and this is all done, by the way, that's Bernie Wrightson did the art. I mean, and it's all of the stories from the actual movie. It's literally just the movie adaptation. So, you'll love it. I know already. You know Etienne, I like it.
I think we've met before.
Although, oddly enough, he so rarely says hi. Did I drop that?
Right? What's with that?
What's with me dropping stuff? Yeah, anyway. So, that is what we have from Mr. Etienne. However, Etienne doesn't get the stuff unless Miss Cailie here gets the question right.
I don't know. Like, what if I'm not a big Marvel person? Like, what if
that brings us to the question.
Just like your lowly mandolin player.
Lonely mandolin player. How awesome is it? By the way, because we haven't mentioned that yet, professional mandolin player. Like, that's what she does for a living. Like when you go to bars and trying to hit on people or whatever. Oh, so what do you do for a living? Oh, She's like, no, I play the mandolin. They're like, yeah, but what do you do for a living? She's like, play the mandolin. That's fucking awesome. Like, who else gets to say that? That's cool as shit. Anyhow, so the question is going to be, because of the fact that Etienne's favorite comic book character is the Punisher, the question is going to be Punisher related.
Okay.
Now, before I ask that question,
it's all in God's hands now.
I have to ask you, how familiar are you? Have you ever read any Punisher comics?
No.
Have you ever seen any of the Punisher movies?
No.
Have you seen the Punisher TV show?
No.
Have you seen the Punisher Ballet?
There's a ballet.
No, there's not.
Okay.
But how awesome would it be if there was?
You could have said yes and I would have believed you.
How awesome would it be if it was? Hold on, we got a train coming, so it's going to get a little noisy. So, like I said, we're now dealing with someone who has clearly zero experience whatsoever with Punisher.
Your birthday's in my hands.
Basically, you're doomed. You're doomed now. So the question is, as the train comes to a stop, your question is, Cailie Jerome Skelton.
Yes, scary.
I'm trying to drag out so the train can get out and get rid of the noise. I'm going to yell into my camera.
What if I said it while the train's passing?
Nobody heard it, right? This would be awesome. Cailie Jerome Skelton. Are you ready to play the Word Man Friend of a Friend game show?
I hope so.
All right. Cailie,
Gary.
what is the Punisher's name?
Ooh. Is it Frank Castle?
Oh, woo! All right, well done. You know what's great is no one was more panicked about that than Etienne. Like, I know he was. I know he was. Etienne's played this game 6-7 times with me now, so he knows exactly how the whole game goes. But I know he was freaking out going, what if Gary didn't tell her? What if she didn't Google it?
Which is funny because both of those things happened.
Both of those things
did. And the
did
first time when I Googled it, he thought I actually knew the answer.
Yeah. So I asked, I was like, do you know anything about the Punisher? And she's like, that's Frank Castle. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry for you knowing. She's like, no, actually, I just Googled it. I'm like, bitch, the fuck you lying to me for?
I've got you, French for Steven. I've got you.
French for Steven, congratulations. All that stuff is for you. I'm going to put that in the mail actually tomorrow.
Which is today, tomorrow?
Which is today, tomorrow, because today's officially the 26th.
12:25 right now.
Yeah, it's a little late, you know. But yeah, all that stuff is for you. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday!
You know what I mean? Hopefully we'll get to have a good party or something. He's not going to be able to make it down to see Police Story this weekend. That's a bummer. Hope your eye gets better, because I know that's a big deal for you. You don't want to hear me continue to make Slick Rick jokes, because that shit gets old fast, you know?
And I hope you get off the island soon.
Yeah, you gotta get off the island, fam. Like, I know you're into this whole pirate thing, but you gotta get off the island. You
Manhattan's an island, too?
Brooklyn's an island, also, technically.
Cool.
So there's other islands you can go to, is what we're saying. You know
Your friends live on this one.
Yeah, they do live on this one. You shouldn't fuck with the other one, fam. Get the whole, like, Jewish mother about it. You know, you really shouldn't.
Ma, I'm tired of arguing.
No, our friend Rebecca, she has the best Jewish mother accent I've ever heard.
I have met Rebecca.
You have met Rebecca.
We have broken bread.
That's right. Hi, Rebecca. All right, this video is very long now, but
oh shit.
yeah, right. See the time up there. But in any case, just want to say big what up to Mr. Etienne. Hope you're doing well. And anything else?
I got nothing. Come hang out soon.